Hello and welcome back to my PPR F1 Tier 3 League Racing Series. If you are new around here or have missed any previous episodes, before you want to avoid spoilers, check out the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens for all of the races so far. But after the Italian Grand Prix, this is how things look in the Drivers' Championship. P4 for myself, 59 points, out of contention pretty much of the Drivers' Championship. Mathematically still there, but it's looking like it's not going to be on the cards for this season. However, Constructors' Championship, we are still there. 99 points at the moment, 130 for the Williams team. Closing up to them. It's still a close battle between the two teams, but Williams now have two championship contenders amongst their ranks. So fingers crossed we can do something here at the Japanese Grand Prix. However, going into this race, I didn't feel confident. I was really struggling with how the car handles. If anyone's driven Japan on the F1 2021 game, the curbs through Sector 1 are lethal. Touch them and you are going to have a spinala. So it's a really weird driving style that you've got to try and drive by not attacking the curbs, which I'm not used to. But here we are on our qualifying lap, our best lap, and it's actually our first lap here in qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix, as we get very close to the curb on the right-hand side. Avoid the one on the left because it will destroy you. But now these are two nice corners I really love. You can really attack the Degners. Down into number 1, run it out wide, not too much though, and into turn 2 as well. Don't want to touch the curb too much on the inside because the camber allows you to just really carry the speed through the corner into the hairpin. Maybe a little bit wide through here, but there's so many different lines that you can take that it doesn't necessarily lose you time. But a good lap so far for our banker. Heading down into the spoon curve now. We want a good turn through here, nice and tidy on the apex, and allowing it to run out wide and then getting tight again on the second apex. All the way down into 130R now, flat out all the way until the Casio triangle, and we are looking good for the time being. Purple, in fact, in Sector 2. However, not many other people, actually no, other people have set times because this is halfway through the qualifying session at the moment. So looking good in qualifying. Through the left, cutting the corner nicely, but not too much, really hugging the apex, the esports line all the way down to the line, and it is P9. P9 on the grid, but after everybody else sets the lap times, unfortunately we get moved down into P13. So a typical qualifying position for ourselves, something that we do need to really work on over the rest of this season and of course going into next season as well, because the race pace is good. We've got some great results in the races, but the qualifying, that is where we're lacking. I think we buckle under the pressure a little bit too much, as the strategy for today going to be starting on the mediums and then going to the softs later on in the race, as we are outside the top 10, so we do get a free choice of tyres. So, yeah, P13 on the grid. Dirk Chocolate, again, not out-qualifying me. So whilst we might not be good in qualifying, Dirk Chocolate isn't either, our championship rival. Even though we are miles clear on points of Dirk Chocolate, but anything can happen. 15 for him, 13 for me. The lights are coming on now for the Japanese Grand Prix. We got a 5 red lights, and we are off. And it's again a cracking start, this time to TJD. We get the launch of him on the right-hand side. Moving over to the right, having a little look on the inside through the corner, but taking it cautiously. TJD going around the outside now, wheel to wheel with DM Guy, but we just can't get the launch off the corner. He's on those soft tyres, and now we're just going to tuck up in the slipstream. It is basically just a one-line corner all the way through the S's. You can go side by side through here, of course, but it is incredibly risky, especially with those curbs that are going to put you into the barrier. But P12, 1 position gained, a good start so far. We need to see if we can pick off any more positions. And of course, if we can stay with this train, doing this alternate strategy, maybe, just maybe, when we go onto the softs later on, we can have that pace and really attack them at the end of the races. Somebody has gone for an absolute send down in towards the hairpin. We were very lucky to avoid that. We just sort of braked and kept it in a straight line because we saw someone flying up the inside. I think it was an Alfa Romeo or Sandy Baggy that got absolutely sent into the wall there. So disaster for them. P12 for me still, but I am furious. Is going to be furious because they actually do now have damage because of that. So an easy position for me. Going to use the ERS to make sure we get the job done as soon as we possibly can around the outside of 130R. They've got no downforce. They're going to struggle through there. And unfortunately, that crash has actually cost us the train there, which is a little bit frustrating. We would have liked to have held on if we can, but for now, we will just see what we can do throughout the rest of this race. Try and tuck back behind these guys as 256 has gone for a little spin. Probably touched one of those curbs through the Dunlop curve, through Degner 1 and Degner 2. Nice and fast through there. But we're now into the points, which is perfect for us. We want to get into the points. That is, of course, what we want to carry on doing. Our streak of getting points every race. We've got another driver going for a spin. This time, it's driver DNB. He's gone for a spin. Again, probably touching those curbs through Sector 1. It is so easy to be sucked into those curbs and want to attack them, but you've got to take them at your own risk because they can spin you round. As Dark now demonstrating through the spoon curve. Another spinner. We're up into P8, just picking up places, and that's what we're best at. Just being consistent, not making mistakes. Okay, we do make the odd mistakes. We have made a fair few this season, as McNeish is ahead of us now in P8. Not sure if they've got damage or what, but we've closed in on them. And Davey Lee, another one having a spin. One of the championship contenders as well. And really unfortunate. You know, I probably could have just driven through him there as he was ghosted, but it looked like he was unghosting just as we arrived to the scene. So we wanted to avoid damage. That's why we slammed on the brakes through that corner. But we maybe could have snuck that P8 away from him now as we're having a little look on Davey Lee. He looks slow at the moment, so we might see if we can pick anything off. He goes a little bit too deep into the hairpin. We're going to get a switchback maneuver on him. Go wheel to wheel with Davey Lee. We've got the outside for this corner, but we are going to get the inside for the spoon curve, which could secure us that P8. Still wheel to wheel between myself and Davey Lee. Side by side, not using that curve too much. Push him out wide ever so slightly, but still keeping it respectful between the two of us. Look how close we're getting. Now all the way down into 130R. Dark right on the back of us, maybe looking to get involved in this battle. Dark Chocolate not too far behind as well, so he'll be looking to see if he can pick up any pieces of any incidents that go on in towards the Casio Triangle. Still side by side with Davey Lee. He just turns across us through the Casio Triangle, gives us absolutely nowhere to go. Obviously we would have had to just cut that corner if we wanted to make it stick. That allows Dark to overtake us. Dark Chocolate having a little look but deciding against it. Now heading down in towards turn 1. Dark having a look on Davey Lee, backs out of it. We nearly go into the back of the Alpine driver, going right around the outside of turn 1. If we can make this, this will be an incredible move through the left-hander, and there's the slightest amount of contact there. Synchronized spinning as 256 does the same thing. Unfortunately, there was the smallest amount of contact between myself and Dark. He just didn't leave me enough room there on the inside. I know we could have attacked that inside corner a little bit more as we get a warning for exceeding track limits there here on lap 8 of the Grand Prix. Started lap 9. A couple of drivers coming into pits as well, including my teammate Markin. I know we could have cut that corner a little bit more, but you have to take it at your own risk because that is one of the most lethal corners on this track. You touch it and you definitely will spin. So you have to be really, really careful through this. That's why I avoided it. And of course, Dark was probably hoping that I would attack it, and look at that, that's just how bad it is. We just touch the curb and we're round. It kind of works out quite nicely because it allows us to let our teammate through really, really easily, but yeah, it just shows you how lethal this track is, especially with a league racing setup on. It's just really unsettled, so we still decide not to pit. Of course, it's like very early doors at the moment, still lap 9 with a lot of the soft runners now coming into the pits. Davey Lee into the pit lane, as is Jim Wong, but we're not going to come out ahead of Jim Wong. He is going to regain that position and is now ahead of Markin as well. Lap 10, Dark into the pits, DM Guy into the pits as well. So is Weasel Albon. Are we going to come out ahead of them? Yes, we are. So P8 at the moment in this race, but of course, remember, we are going to have to make a pit stop. So really what we need in this race is some sort of safety car to come out just when we want to make a pit stop. But even then, we will lose those positions. Unfortunately, these guys are still right on our tail. They're only a couple of seconds behind us. Weasel Albon right on our tail at the moment as we start lap 13 of the Japanese Grand Prix. F-Sane we into the pits, and Weasel Albon going for the move, having a little look at us. We're trying to be a good teammate here, trying to hold him up, but unfortunately, Weasel Albon just absolutely rapid. But the pressure of Big Guns Gullis puts him under as he makes a little mistake there. We have a little look, but unfortunately, yeah, just don't have the traction, don't have the speed at this point in the Grand Prix to really challenge with Weasel Albon. DM Guy now 2 seconds down the road. Alex actually doing a really decent job at the moment, just outside the points. Could be on for his first points of the season, but we're here now on lap 15. It's just gone to green flag racing once again. We're up in P7. as it stands. DM Guy, though, not too far behind us. Dark, as we have a big tank slapper through there. Another curb, just touching our front left on the curb there, unsettling the car, and unfortunately, easy overtake for DM Guy. We'll try and follow him, maybe try and get some slipstream and see if we can stick to the back of his car and pull us away from Dark, but unfortunately, I just feel like we don't have the pace in this race. I said at the start, I wasn't feeling comfortable coming into this Japanese Grand Prix, and again, I'm just not feeling comfortable. I love driving it. I think it's a great circuit, but it's just one of those where as much as you love it, you're just not good around it, and that is the case for me. I'm not good around this Japanese Grand Prix circuit. Dark going for the attack on me, down towards the Casio triangle. He's just going to absolutely launch it. Doesn't leave me a lot of space when he goes for the overtake. Thankfully, he doesn't push us off the track, though, and F-Sane, we also going to go for the overtake, and that's going to drop us down into P10. So, unfortunately, this point streak could be coming to the end because we are on the edge of not scoring points, and we've still got to make a pit stop with other drivers not too far behind us. Lap 17 out of 27, starting lap 18, and we've got some drivers into the pits. McNeish going on to those soft tyres now. He's going to be dropping down into P10, so moves up into P9. However, this is where we are at the moment. We're going to have to come into the pits anyway, which we are going to do here on lap 18. The lobby actually bugs out a little bit for this stage of the race because you might see a few positions being jumped up and stuff like that. We're going to go on to the set of soft tyres. No front wing change, of course, because we've got no damage. And away we go. In P11 at the moment. Looks like the graphics have sorted themselves out now here on lap 22. And DM Guy has DNF'd through this right-hander. And we're going to move up into P10. So back into the points. When it looked bleak, it looked like we weren't going to score any points this race. We're back in. We're back into P10. Dirk Chocolate up the road now in P8. Doing actually a fantastic job. Of course, he's kept it consistent. No spins, no crashes. And he is reaping those rewards up in P7 for the time being. TJD coming out of the pits there. And I don't know what on earth happened to him. He went right and then decided to go left. I think he just touched the inside curb through the right-hander, but an easy overtake for me up into P9 through the last couple of corners now, through the right and then into the left, and it's going to be P9 on the track at the end of the race, but unfortunately that is going to do for us as well. No real improvements in that race. So yeah, P9 at the end of the day, not too bad for me. I really struggled here in Japan. Japan, one of those tracks that I just can't get the grips of at the moment. Hopefully, if we go to it next season, in Season 6, we can improve around there. But looking at the race results, Jim Wong wins the Grand Prix with Dark in second. I believe Dark does have penalties coming his way, especially for the incident with me, but I believe there was other incidents that he had in the race as well. F-Sane, we in P3, Weasel in P4, Mark and my teammate 5th, Dirk Chocolate second race actually this season, he's beaten me on track, so fair play to me, had a fantastic race. P6, myself down in P9, 2 points on the board. Okay, it's not the greatest of results, but we're keeping that point streak going, which we can be very happy about. Looking at the Drivers' Championship now, and we're in P4. We've dropped way off of the leaders now, about 50 points behind at this stage. So, no, it's safe to say we're probably not going to be in a championship battle this season. 7 out of 12 rounds. There's not many rounds left to go. But if anything does happen, we are there to hopefully pick up the pieces. And we've got to be aware of Dark, who isn't too far behind us. He's only about 20 points behind us at the moment. So Dark Chocolate, we're still quite clear of him. Just under 30 points at the moment to Dirk, so we're happy with that. And look at the Constructors' Championship after the Japanese Grand Prix. Williams leading the way by quite a bit now. 40 points going into the last 4 rounds of this season. Everything is still to play for. Aston Martin also not too far away from us as well, so something we do have to be aware of. But hopefully we can challenge those Williams boys and maybe, just maybe, sneak that Constructors' Championship. But that's going to do for today's episode. If you guys have enjoyed it, don't forget to smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. And as always, if you want to watch this live, go check out my Twitch channel in the description. But until next time, have a great day. Goodbye.